Hello, my name is Mercy Ono. This presentation is based on Health 698 Practicum experience, which I had at Johns Hopkins Medical Center. During my practicum, I focused on health equity research, chemical dependent unit experience, tobacco intervention process, findings of physicians' approaches, and I had the opportunity to attend a workshop for population improvement at DC. Next slide is talking about health equity research. I was able to research on health equity. Health equity is known to be a means of making sure that every patient is getting the same equal medical access, no matter their race, their language, their educational background, or otherwise. During my internship, I researched and found out about 8 health system partners who have been doing a whole lot to establish health equity in different organizations. 2 of these health system partners are Henry Ford Medical Center and Kaiser Permanente. I also discovered about different structures of health equity and how they could be established at different organizations to make sure that health equity becomes a priority. I also found out about different strategies to achieve health equity process, and one of them is making sure that every staff are educated in a way that each of them will know actually the meaning and everything that health equity implies. There was a recommendation of consistent training. I know about Lunch and Learn that is being held at Johns Hopkins. During this Lunch and Learn, this is when the management makes all the employees aware of any change and any new information that they need to know about. I was able to make them understand that they can as well have training, ongoing training, and have patients and employees know and implement the process of health equity in their different departments. Next slide is talking about chemical dependent units. At Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center, chemical dependent units is the department where chemical dependent patients are discharged after their admission, trying to help them go through issues of opioid addiction. During my practicum, I was able to do a data analysis and reports, which I found out to be very useful to identify the process that led to discharge increase in the units. I was able to find out that for the fact that when patients are discharged, there was no follow-up. They are not being followed up, and when they are discharged to their individual homes, they tend to go back to the same old lifestyle of addiction. And researching on that and giving the department leaderships an idea of how they should establish a follow-up by means of making sure that those patients are reached, spoken to, and re-emphasizes on the need for long-term connections, which will help them to maintain absences of opioid. I also was able to discover that there are issues going on between the staffs. There are some issues of staffs not getting along, and because of that, workflow are being affected. So currently there is a project which I started, which I believe will continue, on how to connect those staffs to make sure that there are proper communications among them. And one thing that we were able to do during my practicum was to have all the employees take a survey. And this survey was a means of, giving the employees the voice for them to talk about how they feel in their workplaces, what has been going on, what they are not comfortable about, and also give them the opportunity to voice their own ideas on how there could be improvement. All the ideas were discovered during the survey analysis, and currently is being used through the project to establish solutions to those concerns. I also had the opportunity of shadowing some physicians, and during this shadowing I found out a very significant role that Johns Hopkins already have going on, which is mobile clinic. Mobile clinic is when they have a van that they park in front of Baltimore Detention Center, where they give opioid addicted patients the access to come in and get assessed and get some treatment, and then get linked to providers that will help them with, within long-term implementation of getting off opioid. I found out about 2 patients. One of them, I was able to talk to her, and she actually had overdosed on the street. And on that street, she was lucky enough to find somebody who had Narcan, and that person used Narcan on her to resuscitate her before she was rushed to ER. And after that, she was referred to the mobile clinic. Currently, she is receiving treatment every week, and she's now linked to a provider who is helping her to go through the process of getting off opioid addiction. And next slide is talking about my population health improvement workshop at DC, where different health system partners were able to sit on a panel and discuss about many things and many ways that population health could be improved. And one of those partners which dealt specifically about health equity in detail was Rush Medical Center. Rush Medical Center has been going on in various ways, implementing several strategies, going into different communities, establishing, plans that are helping different levels of patients to get health need that they need. And all the ideas and information that I received at this workshop, I came back, and during their regular annual leadership meeting, I relayed those information to them. And right now, Hopkins are beginning to implement those strategies, which one of them, which is very unique, is having a means of connecting with communities. When they communicate and have an ongoing connection with the communities, they are able to determine who exactly needs help and what population needs help the most. So in conclusion, I found out that partnering with health equity system partners is very vital, because when any organization partners with health equity partners, they will get more ideas, they will get more informations through whatever they had done before, like Henry Ford, that have gone through into deep process to establish health equity. They are one example which I have shared with the Hopkins management, giving them views and ideas, and even on how they can have campaign. Campaign is one strategy that Henry Ford organization used to capture the heart of people, to make their employees aware of the need of health equity in their organization. I also found out a better view of challenges and chemical dependent patients could only be clear through proper data analysis. Data analysis is where we see every details of what goes on in the organization, and it gives a broad idea and directions on where concerns are and what needs improvement. Proper interventions and tools to engage staff actually does result to positive change, because the chemical dependent unit departments were able to establish new staffs and new tools in their departments, there has been a lot of improvements. For example, between their physical year of 2016 and 2018, there used to be a huge amount that are being spent due to readmission of patients after discharge. Now, the tools that they have established were able to track that down. That now their readmission charges have dropped rapidly, all because the proper tools are being implemented in the organization. Overall, I had a wonderful experience at Johns Hopkins Bayview Medical Center, and all the things and all the informations and ideas that I have gathered over this past month is going to be a long-term impact with me as I step out into the world of health, equity, and everything that it comes with. Thank you.